just crossed the River Scorn into Glasgow.
Cheers.
What was I just saying before that I was going to say for camera? I don't even remember now. The whole opening of the show. I come on stage, I don't say anything. I just sit down, got my glasses on, and I read this 5 paragraphs. It's the first 5 paragraphs of Anthony Kiedis' book. It makes you think it's all about shooting heroin. It's him telling a story about sitting in his house, and this woman comes over and gets him all set up, ties off his arm. I read it very seriously, so obviously everyone in the room thinks I'm talking about me. And you could feel the tension in the room, just the dead fucking silence of people thinking, I didn't know he was a fucking junkie. As well as, what the fuck have I gotten myself into? Like, how the hell can I sneak out of here without him seeing?
That is the quietest I have ever heard Glasgow. Did I scare you? Did you think that was about me?
And it only takes about 2 minutes to read it. And then I say, did you think that was about me?
Sorry, that's actually from Anthony Kiedis' awesome book, Scar Tissue.
Fuck no, I'm not some ex-junkie cunt.
I can't believe you thought I was some kind of ex-junkie cunt. God, oh ye of little faith.
And that breaks all the tension, and I get a really big laugh there.
So, as most of you probably know, I'm filming this tonight. So, I'm going to need to get permission, obviously, to use that thing that I just read, because, it's copyrighted material.
I asked my lawyer, so if I put this out, am I going to need to get permission? Because I'm using copyrighted work. I'm reading 5 paragraphs from his book. And I explained everything about what I say and everything. And I was like, you need to tell me what to do because this is the opening of the show. And if I'm going to need to give it permission and I'm calling him an ex-junkie cunt, basically.
Yeah. I figure in the off chance that I don't get permission, who am I kidding? I call him a fucking ex-junkie cunt. I don't think I'm getting permission to use it. I guess I could try and explain that, well, I shot it. I'll tell my lawyer, just tell him that I filmed this in Scotland and cunt is a term of endearment. It's not like at home. When you say cunt in LA, people get angry. If you say cunt in Glasgow, who cares?
You can reach out to them and just basically tell them, Scott reads this intro and that's it. Can we have permission?
Hey.
And maybe they'll just say yes. Or something like, or just send over the footage, but conveniently leave out the stuff that comes after it.
The irony of that chapter or paragraphs I just read is that he's not even talking about heroin. He's talking about ozone. Anthony has some kind of hepatitis, and he gets these ozone treatments that apparently keep him very healthy.
And then show me saying something positive about the Chili Peppers.
Now I just hope he could find a treatment for whatever disease he's had that's kept the Chili Peppers from making a good record since 1989. You agree? Mother's milk. Last one.
Odds are I'm not going to get permission to use it. So I'm just waiting to hear back from him on what the legalities of the whole thing are, because I'll still open the show with that. And then I'll explain to the crowd, just like I explained to you guys, we're going to do a second opening now because it's fucking snowball's chance in hell that Anthony Kiedis is going to say, yeah, sure, go ahead and use it.
It's selling my reputation.
You called me a cunt. Cool. I love it.
I guess I'll start over again now for you. And I guess I'll just say, hello, Glasgow. my name is Scott. And now I'm going to tell you about this Jewish kid from Queens that started a heavy metal band. Look at that fucking John Travolta hair, caterpillar eyebrows, a fucking dirty upper lip. It's amazing. Like, you look at that kid, it's amazing that that kid never did drugs. This is a comic that you can't buy in the stores because it doesn't exist except for here. Let me set the scene for you. It's the fall of 1985, and Anthrax has just finished recording Spreading the Disease. First album on a major label. And, Fistful of Metal, which was out before that, it did enough to put us on the map and get out there and start playing shows and stuff and garner interest from the majors. And in the summer of 84, we signed with Island Records. And they're fucking into it. We've got the machine behind us now, There's an actual company with money, and they care. And so fall of 85, we're done with the record. It's going to come out. And Island Records pays for us to fly over to Europe to do promotion. I don't know what's so funny. People every night, I go to this fucking illustration, and people start laughing. Oh, wait, I know. I get, because obviously I said it's fall of 85, and these issues of Judge Dredd were obviously not out yet in the fall of 1985. Of course, that's what it is, which is actually true, and I fucking fired the idiot who painted this thing. So it's fall of 85, and that's me and Joey Belladonna and our then manager, Johnny Zazula, Johnny Z, coming into London, Heathrow Airport, because we're going to start our promo tour here in London. And they're flying us all over Europe for 2 weeks to sit and do interviews, which was a big fucking deal. I was 21 years old. My dreams are starting to come through. I've spent the last 4 years of my life, from the day I co-founded the band, doing everything in my power to get to this point, where we were actually doing what our heroes before us had done. We were nothing. We were nobody. We didn't have a fucking pot to piss in. We were lucky to play shows at that point in time. I was living in my mom's apartment. That's what's showing you right there. In a tiny, I'm talking fucking 2 meter by 2 meter bedroom in my mom's apartment that I shared with 12 Marshall 4x12s, about half a dozen guitars, a couple of amps, and a fucking mattress on the floor. That's how I lived for about 4 years. We would go out and play a show, and I'd load my gear back into my mother's apartment. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter. Whatever needed to be done, by any means necessary, we were going to fucking do this shit. And now we are. So we spent all day in London, our first day, interviews from like 10 in the morning till 7 o'clock at night. And everyone's fucking into the record, and everybody loves the record we made. And it's just so exciting. And then the last interview of the day was with some writers from Kerrang. Remember, this is 1985, so this is when Kerrang was still a metal magazine. I agree. So they say, hey, we're going to go to the Marquee Club to see the Sweet play. Do you guys want to come along? I'm like, fuck yeah, we're in London, man. Of course, let's go out. So we go to the Marquee to see the Sweet. They fucking kicked ass, and then they invite us along across the street to this bar called the St. Moritz to go have some drinks after. But I don't drink, but who cares? It's not like I didn't hang out, even though I was a non-drinker. So yeah, I'm totally into hanging out. I'll fucking talk metal with fucking Xavier Russell all night long. I don't give a fuck. So Xavier Russell used to write for Kerrang when it was a metal magazine. So we go across the street to this bar. I walk through this door, and it's this dimly lit, kind of dank, shitty basement of a bar, and not what I expected, because it was called the St. Moritz. But walk into this bar, and the first thing, and I was wearing that exact shirt because I have pictures of myself from that day, and the first thing I see, the first person I see sitting at the bar is my fucking hero. I fucking lose my mind. I have never met anyone. Like I said, I'm 21. The band hadn't done anything yet. I haven't met anybody, and I walk into a bar in London, and the guy that I think is the coolest motherfucker on the planet Earth is sitting in this bar having a drink and a smoke. I mean, all I gave a fuck about, the only thing that mattered to me besides Anthrax at this point in my life was Motorhead and Iron Maiden. That's it. And there's fucking Lemmy just sitting there. So I'm flipping the fuck out. So we're across on the other side, hanging out with these Kerrang dudes, and they're just like, go talk to him, man. He's actually really cool. We've all interviewed him. He's funny, you know, and he'll be cool if you want something to sign or take a picture. Trust me, he'll be cool about it. But I'm just fucking, man. You know, I don't even understand. Is this how it is in London? You just walk into a bar and you're fucking heroes? Like, if we go to another bar down the street, Steve Harris is going to be there? Like, is this how it fucking works? They're like, just go fucking talk to Lemmy. So finally, I get up nerve. I just like, fuck it. I'm gonna hate myself if I don't do this. So I walk up to the bar, and I'm a fucking sweaty 12-year-old. Just, hi, Lemmy. My name is Scott. I play in a band called Anthrax, and oh my God, I'm just the biggest. I'm just the biggest Motorhead fan. Oh my God, and this is what I get. And he says, points at my shirt and says, I can tell. I'm like, oh, I am in way over my head. I'm still like in a cloud of Lemmy smoke. I dare not go like this, you know, because he'd fucking smote me with his eyes if I even like attempted to move the smoke away that he blew towards me. I'm just flipping out, you know, but I'm like, oh, he talked to me. What do I do? What do I do? Okay, can I buy you a drink? And he says, you're in my town. I'll buy you a drink. What are you having? Oh, fuck, what am I having? Why didn't I think of this? I don't drink. Oh my God, I didn't fucking plan. So what seemed to be like 30 minutes to me, obviously was probably only a few seconds, but I'm like, what do I say? What do I say? What do I say? Oh my God, fuck. I'll have what you're having. Like I said, I didn't think this through. So Lemmy says, 2 Jack and Cokes, please. 2 Jack and Cokes show up. Now I have a whiskey in front of me. I've never drank a whiskey in my life. All I knew about whiskey was when I was a little kid and we'd be at my grandparents' on the holidays and I'd have to go get the shitty fucking Jew wine out of the cabinet. I would open the fucking cabinet and it smelled. It had this fucking horrible rotten stench coming out of this cabinet. And I once asked my mother what that smell was. She says, that's your grandfather's whiskey. That's what I thought of whiskey. So I get this drink and I could already smell it and it's making me think of that fucking smell from the cabinet and it's already turned in my stomach. I'm like, you cannot fuck this up. You are going to drink this fucking drink like a fucking man. You're going to drink your fucking drink with Lemmy like you're fucking cool, like you've been drinking whiskey for 25 fucking years, like you're Clint fucking Eastwood. You're going to drink this drink. Man up, motherfucker. You're not going to make a face. You're not going to fucking throw it up. You're going to drink your drink. And like while this fucking is going on in my brain, Lemmy turns around and says, cheers. At least I knew how to do that, thank God. Like, imagine I was like, what does that mean? Yeah. So I cheers with Lemmy, and here goes the fucking whiskey. The smell, I'm like, oh my God. Oh. I take a big gulp, because I like take a manly gulp. Take a drink like you know what you're doing. And I take this fucking gulp of whiskey, and in my mind, what I think happened, what I think I did, I think I pulled it off. I think it was about like this, like, I think that's what happened. Lemmy didn't say anything, so I figured I probably pulled it off. Most probably he doesn't give a fuck at all about me, one fucking iota. He's not even looking at me. But I think I did it. I think he thinks I'm cool now because I drank my drink. So I start to instantly catch a buzz off this whiskey because I don't drink. And that kind of loosened me up a little bit and it made me a little bit more comfortable. And we start having an awesome conversation. I start actually asking him questions, and I tell him about seeing Motorhead open for Ozzy. 1980, 2 shows in one night, early and late show. This is when Rhodes was still in fucking Ozzy. One of the greatest shows I've ever seen, twice in one night. And just talking. He's talking to me, and he's asking me about my band, and all this kind of stuff. And it's just fucking awesome. It's all fucking going well, and he keeps ordering drinks because he's Lemmy. And he keeps ordering me a drink, and I keep drinking it because I'm standing with Lemmy. So this is going on and on and on. And now, to use this dreaded phrase again, the next thing I know... This barely does it justice. Johnny Z is kicking me awake because we're late to fucking go to Heathrow because we got to fly to fucking Munich to go do interviews all day. We've got a fucking record label paying for us to go do this. And he's like, you going to get the fuck up, motherfucker, because I am not calling the label and telling them that you fucking drank with Lemmy and now we're canceling the fucking promo tour. Like, you're not going to fucking blow this shit the first fucking day. And I'm just seriously, like, literally, puddle of puke in front of me. I'm still in my clothes. And every fucking part of my body is in agony. And it's not a hangover. I had been hungover before when I was a teenager a couple of times. I know what a hangover feels like. This felt like Judge Dredd beat the fuck out of me with a baton. Everywhere on my body. I mean, everywhere. Oh, my God. Like, every fucking part of my body's on fire. I'm in agony. And I could barely just croak out just, oh, what happened to me? And just even saying that made me throw up again right there in the bed. Just, oh, my God, what the fuck happened to me? And, well, Johnny says, you went over to talk with Lemmy, and you guys started drinking, and you must have been over there with him, I don't know, an hour and a half. And I'm thinking now, I'm starting to try and do math in my brain at this point, going, a normal person would drink maybe 4 drinks in that, and a Lemmy would drink probably about 15 drinks in that, like, because Lemmy drinks a fucking Jack and Coke, like, next, so, and I was keeping up with that motherfucker, so, I'm like, oh my God, this is, I don't know what I'm going to do, I can't move, what happened to me? He goes, well, at some point after you were talking with Lemmy, and then you fucking ran past where we were, right out the fucking door onto Wardour Street. Full speed. And he goes, so I followed you outside because I figured you were just going outside to be sick and I wanted to make sure you were okay. But I walk outside and you're fucking running diagonally, zigzag, back and forth across Wardour Street. Your fucking arms over your head like a fucking gorilla and you're screaming incoherently. Can't even fucking understand a word you're saying. And you're running and you're diving into piles of trash. Which my friend Steven so eloquently illustrated here and made it look like an old Iron Maiden 7-inch. Except that's not Women in Uniform. That single was called Scott is an Idiot. So he said I was doing this for about 15 minutes. I'm like, why didn't you stop me? He goes, we tried to stop you. He goes, I would fucking try and grab you and you're fucking pulling moves and shit. Like every time whoa, and you'd fucking dash the other way and dive into another pile of garbage. And finally, you just laid out. You were done. You passed out on the ground. Now at least I understood why I was in agony. I've been fucking diving on the concrete for 15 minutes. So they fucking get me out of bed somehow. I'm still dressed, so there was no need for them. It's not like I needed to change my clothes or anything. They already had my bag. They shoved everything in the room that I had into my bag. And we fucking get to Heathrow, and we go through Heathrow. This is 1985. Apparently, you could still get on a plane like this. You can't fucking do this now. Post 9/11 world, not going to happen. So we literally went through security with me over Johnny's back, throwing up, and Johnny Z yelling at me, don't puke on my legs. Just don't fucking puke on my legs. We get on the fucking plane. It's just fucking endless. It's fucking endless. It just doesn't end. And now I'm at that point where there's really nothing left to throw up. It's just fucking bile, and you retch, and it's just miserable, and I'm fucking hurting. And then I start puking from my butthole as well. So I'm just in the toilet pretty much the whole way to Munich, just sitting there like this. It's coming. I'm puking between my legs, and my butthole is doing its thing. And we get to Munich. We get in a taxi. We go to the hotel, and I know I'm just sick. I'm sure I have a fever. I'm fucking shivering. I'm just in fucking agony. Like literally, like, I don't like promo tours. I gotta go home, and just in agony. So Johnny goes, look, we're going to get you a doctor. As soon as we get in the hotel, I'll tell the front desk we'll have a doctor come. So he did, and he said, please send a doctor, someone, preferably a doctor who speaks English, because we were in Germany. And about 30 minutes later, I'm in the room. I'm just under the cover, shivering. And there's a knock on the door. And this guy walks in. Now, I know he kind of looks like Laurence Olivier from Marathon Man, Dr. Zell. But in my fucking feverish, insane state at that point in time, this kind old man named Dr. Stein looked like this. This is what I was seeing. And look, fucking, as far as I knew, this was my first time in Germany. All I knew about Germany was what I fucking saw in World War II movies and television. I didn't know fucking shit. As far as I was concerned, the second I got off the plane in Munich, a fucking alarm started going off. It's like, there's a Jew. Keep your eye on that motherfucker. So this fucking dude walks in, right? I'm like, oh my God, if he says, is it safe, I'm gonna jump out the window. So he's standing, like, as far as me to you, like, across the room. I'm laying in bed. He's right over by the door. He's just staring at me. And then he reaches down into his black leather bag, and he fucking pulls out a syringe with shit already in it. It's just fucking ready to go. And he just looks at me, and he says, you need this. I'm like, what do you mean I fucking need that, dude? You're fucking 10 feet away. You didn't even take my temperature. Like, I don't understand, man. You're not even going to examine me before? He's just, no. You need this. I'm like, oh my God. I'm in big fucking trouble. But look, I was in no state to fucking fight off anybody. So I said, whatever, fucking, I don't care. Just do it. Give me the fucking shot. I'm done, John. Just take the shot. Oh, fuck it. Okay. He comes over to the bed. He pulls back the covers. He says, please. Pull down your trousers, right? So I'm wearing some sweatpants. I pull my pants down, and it's kind of silent for like 2 seconds. And then I just hear the doctor say, ach, disgusting. And I'm going to let the picture tell you why he said that. I had been walking around with a pants full of poo for 24 hours. Johnny and Joey, I mean, I didn't know because I was in some fucking state. Johnny and Joey, they never said anything. Maybe they were just being nice because I can't imagine they didn't smell it. We're fucking packed in a little airplane. Like, how did they not fucking smell this? Like, oh my God. Like, I didn't realize at first when he said, ach, disgusting. Like, what the fuck? I mean, why is he's look? And then I'm like, oh my God, I fucking shit myself. And I was too broken down at this point to even be ashamed or anything. If anything, I remember deep down inside, one of those little voices in my brain was actually laughing because it was saying to me, ha ha ha, this fucking half Nazi prick of a doctor now has to deal with your filthy Jew butt. I'm like, yes. My fucking tiny little revenge for the Holocaust. Not really. So, Dr. Stein, he gets his revenge. He puts this fucking needle into my ass, and it felt like he was putting a cigar out on me. It hurt like fuck. But, I mean, quickly, I start to feel better. Like this warmth, much like the story I told you earlier. I start to feel instantly warm and good, and whatever fucking Auschwitz-tested potion he had in this fucking syringe, it fucking worked because I passed the fuck out and didn't wake up for 16 hours and woke up and I was just fucking, wow, I feel great. It's like everything was gone. I felt awesome. I'm like, I'm ready to go. Johnny's like, well, good. We pushed back all the interviews. I was able to tell the label, at least now, that you actually had the flu and that we didn't need to postpone because you fucking drank with Lemmy and you shit yourself. So, and they knew that a doctor came, so everything's fine. Just whatever, get yourself together, and then we'll go over to the record company office. And I'm like, let's fucking go. He's like, by the way, your pants are filled with shit. Oh, yeah, shit. So I go in the bathroom to take a shower and get all cleaned up, and we fucking continue on with our fucking promo tour. And the rest of that day, Joe and I do a bunch of interviews, and what you see here is the lifetime management contract Johnny Z made me sign while I was under duress of my sickness and my hangover and my concrete diving. He said, fuck you, motherfucker, you're going to make me deal with this shit? Well, this is what I want. And he made me fucking sign this thing. So what I did, I took that in the bathroom with me, wiped my ass with it. And when I came back out of the shower, I said, oh, Johnny, by the way, here's that deal that we signed. No, you don't want it? No, you don't want it anymore? Okay, and I threw it in the trash. So if you ever want to get out of a deal, just shit on the contract. No fucking problem. So 7 months later, we're going to jump ahead now. Anthrax just finishes a run of shows in Germany, Belgium, Holland, and we come to England for the first time. It's going to be our first ever show at the Hammersmith Palais, May of 1986, sold out, and we're fucking so excited. Like, it's been 7 months now. The record's been out. Things are going great. We're touring around the world. It's literally when the band started to happen. And, it's just a fucking honor for us to be on a stage for the first time in the UK because all our favorite bands were new wave of British heavy metal bands. And it was just such an honor to be there and that anyone even gave a shit about what we were doing. And then to make us even more excited, there's a knock on the door, and fucking Lemmy walks into our dressing room. And none of the other guys had met him yet. Of course, I had, and everyone else knew the story of what happened. And so Lemmy comes in, and he meets everyone. We're all just having small talk. And at some point, he turns around, he looks at me, and he says, how you feeling? I was like, oh, you remember me? Like, you remember meeting me? And he goes, yeah, I remember you. You told me about your band, Anthrax. I came to see you tonight. I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. Well, I'm like, what the fuck happened to me? He goes, well, we were having a conversation, and at some point you stopped speaking English. I'm like, yeah, I heard about that. And he said, you stopped speaking English at some point, and then you just turned around and you fucking ran as fast as you could right out of the bar. So I just assumed you ran outside to be sick, and I never saw you again until just now, tonight. He's like, so what happened to you? So I reiterate the whole story I just told you, my friends, and this was Lemmy's reaction to that. And I kind of feel like from that moment on, we became friends. I don't know if it was because I was just a complete idiot and he felt sorry for me, or if it was because I'm just completely shameless and he saw someone who just didn't give a fuck or whatever. I don't know. But we became friends after that. And we would, whenever we would see each other or bump into each other or play together, like we would talk and hang out and be like, wow, Lemmy has time for me in his day. So, just over the years, we got to spend so much time together, so many tours together. We were just here in Glasgow in November together. So, thank you. That's it for Anthrax Motorhead. Woo. Okay, thank you. So, just over the years, I've even gotten to become a part of Motorhead's actual history because a few years back, they put out that Everything Louder Than Everything Else record, and I got a phone call from my manager saying, Motorhead's management just called, and they want a quote from you for the new Motorhead record. I'm like, wow, I'm fucking honored. Of course. So, what the fuck do I say about Motorhead that everyone hasn't said a million times? I can't just put Motorhead rules. Yeah, of course, no shit. So I really thought about it, and I went back in my brain to 1980 when I first bought Ace of Spades. It was my first Motorhead record. I'd kind of heard of them, but I didn't know anything about them. And my record store that I would go to, we were lucky if in that time they would get 3 or 4 imports a week, and you'd have to fight. I remember fighting some other kid for the fucking first Iron Maiden album because I saw Eddie on the cover. I'm like, that motherfucker looks cool. That's got to be good. And then I'm like playing a tug of war with one of my friends over who's gonna buy it. I'm like, fuck you, look, just let me buy it. You can come over to my house and listen to it, like. So we bought it, and you fucking take it home, and Prowler comes on, and it's like, holy fuck, best band ever. That's how it was back then. So I saw Ace of Spades, and I'm like looking at the cover. I'm like, God damn, those fucking 3 guys look cool. This has got to be good. Take it home. First song on the album, Ace of Spades comes on. Holy shit. Like, had never heard anything like that before in my life. And my first thought was, who are these 3 fucking Mexicans, and how do they play so fast? So that was my quote. And I told Lemmy, I said, dude, I got a quote for your record. What is it? I said, when I first heard Ace of Spades, I thought, who are these 3 fucking Mexicans? And how do they play so fucking fast? And he loved it, and they put that on the record. And I was like, he's like, Mexicans? I was like, dude, look at that out. You guys look like fucking banditos. Like, come on. I had no idea they were English. They didn't look English. Come on, like, what the fuck? So, anyway, and then, of course, there's this, and if you've seen the Lemmy movie, you're fucking very well aware of this story. If you don't know, there was a point in time in the 90s where Anthrax and Motorhead were rehearsing next to each other in Los Angeles for about 2 weeks. And after every time I would walk out of our rehearsal room to go get a coffee or something, Lemmy would be on the Miz Pac-Man machine, bent over, fucking no shirt, ass totally hanging out of his Daisy Duke shorts. So I kind of got pissed off after about a week of this. I'm like, Lemmy, what the fuck is up with the shorts? And as you get the look again. You just get the look, and the fucking wheels are turning, obviously. And he just points and he goes, those are pants. These are shorts. I can't argue with you, my man. So that story happened in the movie, and apparently people found it quite funny. And about a year or so went by. I hadn't seen Lemmy since the movie came out, and we toured together last summer in the States on this festival thing. And first show in L.A., I walk backstage, and there's Lemmy sitting outside the dressing room having a smoke. And I walk up, I'm like, hey, Lem, how are you? And his, what were you doing looking at my ass anyway? That's actually, this is another story. I don't know if you guys heard, but I'm actually the new Doctor Who. I don't know if you guys know this yet. I started a Twitter campaign 2 nights ago. It was so successful. At BBC_Doctor Who tweeted me back and said I got the gig. So I've already been to Cardiff. I was here. I guess maybe they took me because I was available. And they asked Helen Mirren, but she told them to go fuck themselves. And I was available, so I've already been to Cardiff. And the first episode, by the way, Lemmy's the new companion. And this is from our first episode where we go back to the Old West and the TARDIS and the fucking wacky hijinks ensue. It's the best season of Doctor Who ever. But I can't tell you any more than that. Keep it under your hats. So the other night, I'm trying to keep this thing like no set list because I would get really bored if I was just doing the same shit every show. And the other night, we had a long-ass drive. It's not like I'm out here on fucking tour with a tour bus like I'm with the band. It's just fucking me and my buddy Mark. And he's been driving me, and we've been taking trains and having fun. And we had a long-ass drive last week from fucking Plymouth to Birmingham at like 1 in the morning after the show in Plymouth. And it's pissing down, and it just sucks. Like, I didn't even know you could drive that far in England. And so we're just shooting the shit back and forth and telling stories. And so this story popped in my head. I was like, did I ever tell you the fucking Steven Spielberg, Al Jorgensen story? And he's like, no. And I'm like, aha, So first let me ask you, do you guys know who Al Jorgensen is? From Ministry? Okay. If you don't know who he is, he's Al Jorgensen from Ministry. And he told me this story years back. And it's not just me reiterating a story because I wouldn't make it a part of the show if it obviously didn't have something to do with me. You know, it would be kind of lame if I just stood up here and told stories that other people told me. So you just stay with me. You stick with it, okay? So this is years back. Do you remember a movie by a famous director named Steven Spielberg called AI, Artificial Intelligence? I'm not asking you what you thought of the movie. This isn't fucking Critics Corner. I'm just asking you if you remember the movie at all, that it existed at one point in time. Okay, so anyway, if you think about that movie, and I know it's shit, you don't have to tell me, but there was a part in that movie where there's a scene where the little fucking kid robot and the fucking talking teddy bear, they're fucking out on their own in the fucking woods, and they come across this scene that's like a crazy junkyard, and it's just the fucking thing where the shitty old robots are getting taken out of commission and they're being destroyed or whatever. And in that scene, there was a band playing on a stage, and like some real cyberpunky, futuristic-looking, fucking band playing this crazy industrial music. And that band was actually Ministry. They got a call months and months before the movie was made because someone who worked for Spielberg thought they would be the perfect band for the scene. So they get hired to be in a Steven Spielberg movie, which you say yes to regardless if it's fucking Jaws or AI, artificial intelligence, because you're going to be on set for a week, they're going to pay you a shitload of money, and who cares, right? So they say yes, they get this gig, and months later, they're on set, they're all in their trailer, just hanging out, and it's hurry up and wait. That's all you do on movie sets. You wait around all day, you work for 2 minutes, and then you wait around all day again. And so they're just all hanging out in the trailer, getting drunk, and there's a knock on the door, and this little woman walks in and says, "Yes, excuse me, Ministry. I would just like to let you know that Mr. Spielberg is going to come by in a few minutes. He's going to say hello to all of you and thank you for being in his movie. Okay, goodbye." And they're like, "Is she a fucking robot? Like, what the fuck?" About 10 minutes later, there's a knock on the trailer door, and in walks Steven Spielberg and like 8 assistants. And all the assistants are very busy. They all got fucking notepads and they're writing shit down, and they walkie-talkies and cell phones and earpieces, and everyone's fucking really important and really busy. And Steven Spielberg basically just walks up to each guy. There's like 6 or 7 dudes in Ministry, and they're just kind of standing in a row, and he just, "Hi, I'm Steven Spielberg. Thank you for being in my movie. Hi, I'm Steven Spielberg. Thank you for being in my movie." And on and on. Well, Al is last, and Al is just thinking, I got to say something to this motherfucker. I can't just be like, "Thanks for having us in your movie." Like, it's just the fucking lamest moment ever. So he's like, I got to fucking say something to this dude. So he finally gets to Al. He takes Al's hand. "Hi, my name's Steven Spielberg. Thank you for being in my movie." And Al says, and I fucking grab his hand. And I start giving him he goes, I'm wearing a big leather glove, and I fucking give him my death grip. And I got his fucking hand, and he's kind of like, and I say, "Steven, we have a big fucking problem with your movie." He's like, "Huh? I need to talk to you about this fucking movie." What? You have a problem? And Al's like, and I fucking just got his hand like this. He can't go anywhere. And it's fucking silence now in the trailer. Just silence. All the assistants have stopped what they're doing. Everyone's just frozen. It's like that thing, like, "You dare speak to Mr. Spielberg," like no one has ever talked back to this guy ever once, ever. And he's like, what is the problem with my movie?" And he says, "Do we fucking look like a band that would be in a fucking movie about some fucking kid robot and a talking teddy bear?" He's like, "Well, but you knew what the..." No. You answer my question. Do we fucking look like a bunch of guys that would be in some fucking movie with some little faggot robot and a talking teddy bear? Steven Spielberg's, I don't understand. And he's like trying to talk to his... Didn't they get a script? Did they not? What's happening? He's like, "Steven, this movie's AI, artificial intelligence. We were fucking told this movie was called AI, Anal Intruder." Spielberg flips the fuck out. "Who told you what? Who a porno movie? Hey, wait, who did they? What did they? How did they? What? And everyone, they assist. We don't know what the calls. And everyone's just. He goes, it's just fucking chaos, right? They're flipping the fuck out. He goes, and I still got his hand. So he goes, Steve. He like jerks his hand, and Steven's like, huh? And Al goes, and I fucking clap him on the back as hard as I can. I'm just fucking with you. He said once again, like the Ice Age, fucking silent. Like when you see a movie and it's the King's Court and the fucking jester's juggling and he drops a ball. And everyone's like, oh, what's the king gonna do? And then the king laughs, and then everyone else laughs. And Spielberg, and all the assistants start laughing. And, Al, that was very funny. That was so funny. Oh, wow. Well, what a great prankster. That was really funny, Al. Well, it was really great to meet you guys. I'll see you all later. Goodbye. And he leaves. And Al says, we are so fucking fired. So 2 hours go by. Hurry up and wait. Nothing's happening. Knock on the door. Same first little robot lady. Hello, ministry. Al, specifically. Mr. Spielberg would like to see you by his director's chair. Please follow me. Al's like, oh, at least he's got the fucking balls to fire me in person. So he follows the robot lady onto the set, and he sees the area. He's got all the monitors set up where he directs the movie from, and there's Steve in his fucking director's chair, and he sees, Spielberg written on the thing, and he sees Steve's like bringing this other chair over, and he sees the back, and he's got another director's chair, and it says Al Jorgensen on it. And Al's like, what the fuck is going on here? And Steven Spielberg sees him and goes, Al, come here, buddy, come on over. I got you on your chair right here. It's going to be right next to mine. Anytime we're working, anytime we're shooting a scene, you want to come hang out, you come sit right here. You get to watch the monitors. You can see what's going on. Here's a pair of headphones so you can hear what's happening in the scene. You have any problems while you're here this week, you come straight to me. Don't worry about anyone else. I'm so happy you guys are here. And please, my movie set is your movie set. So, make yourself at home. He's like, oh, thanks, Steve. Thanks, that's cool. He goes back to the trailer and says, well, apparently I'm an assistant directing the movie now. And I guess if you tell Steven Spielberg he's making a porno, he's your best friend all of a sudden. So the whole week it was like that for them. He said they just got treated like gold. The next day they came in, there was a big old box on the fucking table in the trailer. To Al, he opens it up. It's this leather duster, like from, neck all the way down to the floor, this beautiful leather coat. To Al, thought this would look cool on you in the movie, Steve. It's like, wow, he bought me this fucking $5,000 coat or something. Like, this is amazing. And they were treated amazingly. They did their shit. And that's it. They're done. They don't see Steven Spielberg again. Now you're probably wondering, well, what the fuck does this have to do with you or anything other than you just related, a pretty funny story. And in 2003, I was in Germany. Stuttgart, Germany, just finished a promotional tour once again for the album We've Come For You All. My wife was there at the same time. She was still singing in her dad's band. Her dad is Meatloaf. And they had just finished something as well, and they were going to do this TV show that was filming in Stuttgart, this German TV show called Wetten, das, which is the biggest TV show in Germany. It's only on 4 times a year, every 3 months, and it's like this 4-hour program, so they get all the biggest fucking stars in TV and music and film to come on that show to, promote whatever the fuck they got going on at that time. So besides Meatloaf playing on the show that night, you had Steven Spielberg, Tom Hanks, and Leonardo DiCaprio, who were there promoting that Catch Me If You Can movie. I think it was Hugh Grant and Elizabeth Hurley were there. I'm not quite sure what they were doing, but they were there. There was this big American country singer. Her name is Faith Hill, if you know who she is, but she was there. Christina Aguilera was there. She's a pig. And I think Tom Jones was there as well. And It was just this fucking crazy, like, celebrity fucking fist fuck going on backstage. We were in this backstage zone, and it was like all these little, like, kind of cabin things, but then there was this big common area, and everyone was just hanging out, talking to each other, like, oh, look, there's DiCaprio talking to fucking Hurley, and there's this one talking to this one, and I'm like, I got to get in on this shit, right? And I'm like, I have a mutual friend with Steven Spielberg. So I've got an opener. And he's just standing there talking to Tom Hanks forever, and I'm not going to fucking go interrupt. I don't do that. I don't fucking go up to people. And finally Tom Hanks walks away, and Spielberg's all by himself. And then I think, you know what? I'm not going to open with Al, because I'm not quite sure where he stands with that whole thing. So, and the movie was shit, so maybe he doesn't want to be reminded of it. And turns out his mom's restaurant in Los Angeles was about 3 blocks from where I used to live. And I used to go there, and it was a very nice restaurant, and his mom was a very nice lady, and they treat you very well in there. So I figured I could fucking break the ice with that. How many people are going to come up to Steven Spielberg tonight in Germany and say, I eat at your mom's restaurant in Los Angeles? So I walk up, excuse me, Mr. Spielberg. Hi, my name's Scott. I'm here. My wife sings with Meatloaf, and I just saw you standing over here, and I just figured I'd come say hi. Your mom's restaurant is right where I live in Los Angeles. We go there all the time. I just want to let you know it's great. Your mom's a wonderful woman, and they take care of us really well. And he just like kind of shakes my hand, but he's totally looking past me and not paying attention to a fucking word I say. And so I just figure, fuck it, I'm done. All right, well, anyway, nice talking to you. And I just kind of walk off, and I hear, what'd you say about my mother? Oh, no, nothing. No, I didn't say. I said your mom's restaurant. It's right by where I live in Los Angeles, and we go there all the time. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, next time you're there, tell my mother that you met me here in Germany, and they'll take great care of you. And I said, well, that's the thing. I do go already, and they do take great care of you. It's a great place. He's like, what? Who are you? What do you do? What's your name? What are you doing here? I'm like, is he having me thrown out? Like, and my name's Scott. My wife she sings in Meatloaf's band. Oh, Meatloaf! I can't wait to see that. That's going to be great. And he says, well, what do you do? Why are you here other than your wife? And I said, well, I play in a band too. What's the name of your band? Anthrax. Is that a heavy metal band? I said, wow, you know us? And he goes, well, no, I know the name. I've never heard the music, but I've definitely heard the name of your band before. Oh, that's cool. Cool, man. Maybe you'll check it out someday. And then he goes, I know a guy from a heavy metal band. Maybe you know him. I'm all, really, who? He says, have you ever heard of Al Jorgensen from Ministry? I said, why, yes, of course, Stephen. Of course. I don't know why I've become 19th century, like, Downton Abbey dude all of a sudden. Yes, of course, Mr. Spielberg. Yes, Al is a fine gentleman. Yeah, I'm like, yes, Stephen, of course. I know Al. We're friends. He's like, oh, boy, then wow, what a crazy, and he's like a little kid. And he's like, what a crazy guy, that guy. Wow, we had some laughs on that movie set. Boy, oh, boy. And then he leans in, like he kind of leans into me, and he does one of these, like when you look around the room when you're about to tell a racist joke. He fucking leans into me. And he says, do you know, he thought my AI, artificial intelligence movie, do you know he thought that was called AI Anal Intruder? Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner, folks. Yes. The man that brought us E.T. the Extraterrestrial, the family movie of our times, just said the words anal intruder to me. If only I had a recorder running at that moment. So I'm straight up. He's like, anal intruder? I'm like, you don't say. Like, what? No way. That's fucking crazy. Why would he? I actually didn't swear because his boyish charm was like rubbing off on me or something. And I'm like, no way. That's crazy. Why would he even think something like that? Oh, he was just messing around. He wasn't really serious. Boy, we all got a laugh out of that one. It was just oh boy, what a sense of humor on that guy. And I'm like, yeah, that seems pretty crazy. And he goes, well, it was really nice to meet you. You know, good luck with your band. And, you know, please say hi to my mom for me next time you're at the restaurant. I'm like, I'll be sure to do that, Steve. And I go walking off, and all I could think of in my head was Steven Spielberg just basically said anal intruder and say hi to my mom in the same sentence. Thank you very much. You can't unremember this. Anytime you even see his name or his face, any one of his movies, all you're going to think about is anal intruder. That's it. I guess it's not a bad thing. So moving on, I'm up here drinking a Fine Trooper Ale. So, yeah, it's by this little band called Iron Maiden. They seem to be doing well. They put out a beer it's a cool promo item. Maybe it'll get people to check out their music. It's fucking good. It's like 4.7, but it tastes much bigger. I'm not going to get all beer nerdy on you guys, but I actually dig it, and you can't buy it at home, and I've got a bunch of it that I'm going to try and smuggle back as presents for my friends because I'm nice. So I didn't drink basically till I was 30. In 1993 is when I started drinking. It was one of your fellow Scotsmen, actually, that actually got me off the wagon. Some of you may even know him. His name is Michael Curly Jobson. I know some people here know him because they're my friends and we're all mutual friends, but Curly used to be in a band called Echo and the Bunnymen a million years ago, and he went on to become one of the greatest tour managers we've ever worked with, and as well as other bands. So in 1993, he was tour managing us, and Curly really loved his wine. So every night after the show, he would have all these fantastic bottles of wine in the dressing room. And I didn't, like I said earlier, I didn't know shit about wine. The only wine I knew was shitty fucking Jew wine that we would drink on Jewish holidays when I was a kid. It tasted terrible. It tasted like rotten grape juice. So Curly brought in these fine wines and was like, this is good. I could fucking go with this. And so I slowly but surely got into wine, and then I got into beer. But that was it. Spirits still really weren't for me. It was too heavy of a drunk. And so I just stuck with wine and beer basically till 1997. And that's when... That's when Anthrax went on tour with Pantera for 2 months. Now, I had known Daryl since 1985, and we had many nights between 1985 and 1997, certainly, where I would break my own rules, and I would party, but I would just drink beer. I would stay with beer, and you could fucking nurse beers all night long, and of course I would get drunk, but these guys are drinking bottles of whiskey, bottle after bottle, and beer, and wine, anything to get their fucking hands on. And so, I never, ever, ever, ever tried to keep up. I would just drink my beer, and they respected that. It was cool. But now it's 1997, and we're going on tour, and you kind of have to commit when you're going on tour with Pantera. It's like, it literally is, you got to go all in. You have no choice. And Dime used to live by this code. It was called drink it or wear it. And if he would fucking make you a shot, if he poured you a Black Tooth, which was a shot of Crown Royal and a splash of Coke, and he would come over to you around 5 o'clock before the show and say, "Shot Baldini," which was one of his many names for me. And I'd be kind of like, nah, I really don't want to drink before the show. He'd be like, "Drink it or wear it." Psst. So he would give you a choice, and it wasn't done with any kind of malicious intent or anything. It's just the way it was, and you accepted it. So I made a decision that I wasn't going to go around smelling like Crown Royal. I might as well drink it if I'm going to smell like Crown Royal. So I committed. I made a conscious decision that I'm going to fucking do this. I don't care how hard it is for the first 2 weeks. I don't care how much I get sick. I'm going to fucking do this. I'm going to let this fucking brilliant human being be my teacher, my fucking mentor, my professor. He is going to turn me into a professional drinker. I didn't tell him any of this. This was just what I decided going into that tour. So, and it happened, and it took about 2 weeks exactly to the point where I was easily finishing a bottle of Crown on the bus by myself. And they fucking, they had a fucking party the night. One more shot. one more shot. And it was like, Baldini finished the bottle, and it's like, everyone celebrate the fact that I'm destroying my liver. Like, it's fucking awesome. But you'd sit up and talk about Kiss till 6 o'clock in the morning, and it just seemed perfectly innocent. So, I did it. I felt actually a strange sense of accomplishment. And I did that for 2 months with them. It was fucking insane. It was just an insane, unbelievably fun tour. And that's when I kind of learned how to drink. Of course, I didn't keep up that pace after that, and I slowed way down. But at least now I could actually be a social drinker who could go out. I could drink whatever booze and not lose my mind anymore and jump into garbage or whatever. So I give Dime all the credit in the world for being, basically being the guy that taught me how to drink. So, but that's not really what this story is about. I get asked all the time about Daryl because I did know him for 19 years, and we did spend a lot of time together. And so people want to know because people only know him, through the music or maybe through interviews and stuff. But, a lot of people never got to meet that guy or certainly spend time with him. And so I get asked all the time about him. What was he like? What was he like? And, to boil his life down to a fucking story or an anecdote, it's kind of hard because at the least he was a force of nature. He lived every fucking day to its fullest. Whatever fun he had on Monday, he's fucking doubling down on that shit on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, it's going to be 3 times, and so on and so on. So this, this is kind of who he was. And this story I'm going to tell you, it basically, I think it'll give you a real window. I thought about this a lot. It'll give you a real window, I think, into who this guy was as just a fucking wonderful, awesome dude. So it was 1995. And we had just finished the Stomp 442 record, and that's the first record that Daryl ever played on with Anthrax. He played a bunch of solos on that album. We just finished mixing, and we sent Daryl a CD, and so he could hear what was going on. And it's like 3 in the morning. I'm in New York City, and the phone rings. I'm like in bed. I'm ready to go to sleep, and the phone rings. Hey, Baldini, it's Dimebag. What's up, motherfucker? Yeah, man. Thanks you so much for sending that CD over. Holy fuck, I'm catching a nut on those tracks. It sounds fucking awesome. Your fucking record is kicking my ass, and he's just going on about the record. And thank you so much, brother, and thank you for playing on it. It's a fucking honor to have you play on our record, and it's so fucking cool. And can't wait to see you next month and all this and blah, blah, blah. And we're just talking. And in the background, while we're just talking, I hear like a lot of commotion and shit in the background. And, it sounds like there's a party going on. I hear someone screaming, like a high-pitched yelling. Someone screaming about, nobody fucking cares about me no more. Nobody gives a fuck. I was fucking number 1, motherfuckers. Nobody cares anymore. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And you hear fucking shit falling down. And I hear, like, glass breaking. And so I'm like, Dime, what the fuck is going on in your house? He goes, oh, man. Your boy, Sebastian Bach, played in town tonight. Bunch of us went down to the show, and we all came back here, fucking threw down a big party, but everyone else is gone now. It's just me and your fucking boy, and your fucking boy did a ton of cocaine. He's out of his fucking mind, dude. He's fucking my shit up. I'm like, well, I can fucking hear it, man. What the fuck is he yelling about? He's like, dude, this shit's been going on for 3 hours already. He's on this fucking trip about, he was number 1 in 1988, and it's fucking 1995, and no one gives a shit. Nobody buys tickets to see him anymore, and nobody gives a fuck, and people only care about, bands like Pantera and Slayer, and nobody gives him any respect, and if he doesn't have his fucking music, well, then what the fuck is life worth living, and I should just fucking end it all. And I'm like, what do you mean end it all? Like, stop playing music? He's, no, fucking motherfucker, kill himself, motherfucker. He says he's going to fucking kill himself. And I'm like, well, he goes, what did you say? He goes, I'm fucking trying to talk the motherfucking down off the fucking ledge. What do you think? Like, I could tell Daryl's like freaking out. I'm like, dude, that's fucked up. Like, can't you just call him a cab? He goes, I call him a motherfucking cab. He wouldn't get in it. So I'm like, damn, man, that's fucking shit. That kind of sucks. So I don't know what to tell you. He goes, yeah, you know me. I'm fucking last man standing. I will fucking throw down as long as anyone as long you want to stay up till fucking 8 a.m. I'll fucking be there. And no, motherfucker, hold on. And then the fucking phone hangs up. I'm like, oh man, what the fuck happened, you know? So I lay back down. I fall back asleep. About 30 minutes goes by. Probably, you know, I kind of lost track as I fell back asleep. The phone rings. It's Daryl again. Hey, Baldini. I'm like, hey, Dime. Baldini. Baldini came from a men's clothing store in New York City that Daryl happened to drive past one day on tour in a tour bus. 3rd Avenue in the 50s somewhere, there was a shop called Dino Baldini Men's Clothing. Somehow that became my nickname. Sometimes it was Baldini, sometimes it was Dino Baldini, sometimes it was Jew Baldini. So Baldini, it's Dime. I'm like, hey, you get rid of him? He's like, fuck no. And I could hear him in the background, same shit going off. And you know what people are like on fucking cocaine? They don't shut the fuck up. So, and Dime had already said he had done a fucking ton of it. So I'm like, God damn, man, that just fucking sucks. He goes, you telling me? He goes, that motherfucker's fucking my shit up. He goes, he fucking broke the glass. He goes, you heard that glass before? I'm like, uh-huh. He goes, he fucking broke the glass on my Kiss pinball machine. He kicked over a fucking smoke machine in the living room, and he's chasing my motherfucking goat around the swimming pool. Daryl had a goat as a pet with his goatee dyed the same color as Daryl's. Oh, why wouldn't he? So I'm like, holy fuck. Much like you people, I started laughing when he told me about the goat. It's not funny, motherfucker. It ain't funny. That fucking goat falls in the pool. You think your fucking gacked out boy's gonna get in there? No, fuck no. That's me in the fucking pool wrestling a fucking goat. I laughed harder. This vision of Daryl with all his hair all wet, trying to fucking wrangle a goat in the deep end of a swimming pool, going under the water, and like the goat, like just like, I was fucking dying. He's like, motherfucker, it's not funny. Well, I'm sorry. Shit, that sounds terrible. I don't know what to tell you, man. I was like, listen, I think I have an idea. When I was falling back asleep, he's like, oh, did I wake you? I'm like, dude, it's fucking 4 a.m. here now. Yeah, you woke me. He's like, oh, man, I'm sorry. So I'm like, I had an idea. What if, I said, you get noise complaints, right? Your neighbors must fucking bitch at you a lot about making too much noise. He goes, well, fuck yeah, all the time. So I said, what if I call the cops in Fort Worth and told them that I'm your neighbor and there's a lot of noise next door. It's kind of late. Could you please send a car over and tell them to please calm down? And then Sebastian will have to leave. You know, best case scenario would be the cops recognize Sebastian and they're fans, you know, and maybe they'll just drive him back to his hotel. He's like, Baldini, that's a good idea, but no cops, man. No cops at my house. I don't want no cops at my house. I'm like, why, are there a lot of drugs out? And he goes, no, your fucking boy did all the drugs. So I said, well, man, I don't know what to tell you. Then I mean, I'm fucking shit out of ideas at this point, and it's kind of late, man. I got to go back to sleep. Because, all right, brother. Sorry, man. Sorry to fucking hold on, motherfucker. Don't you fucking. And then the phone hangs up again. So I don't know what happened. Did he fucking stab the goat? Did he what the fuck is going on there now? You know. But still, it's really fucking late at this point. So I lay back down in bed and I fall asleep again, only to be woken up by the phone again X amount of time later. And it's like, hey, Baldini. Dime? Yeah. What's going on? Are you okay? I'm hiding in the closet. Like, you're hiding in the closet?
Yeah. Your boy was in the other room, so I came upstairs to my bedroom. I fucking got this big-ass closet, bunch of clothes hanging up, so I'm kind of behind it. You can't even see me. If you open the door, you can't even see me. I'm like,
That's your plan?
yeah, motherfucker, what do you want me to do? I figure he'll either fucking run out of gas at some point, or the sun's gonna come up soon enough, and then the fucking evening will be over.
I was like, dude, just let me call the fucking cops. Enough already. You can't stay in the fucking closet for 3 more hours. And because I looked at the clock, and it was already 5 a.m. in New York, so it was 4 a.m. in Texas time. So he had a minimum 2 hours till the sun's coming up or something.
So he goes, no. Don't send the cops to my house. You can't. It sets a bad fucking precedent. No cops coming unless they really needed to come. I'm like, all right, I won't call the cops. He goes, look, I'm okay. I pulled a fucking big old comfortable hoodie off a fucking hanger. I'm using it as a pillow. I'm all right, man. I'm just going to fucking ride this shit out. And your boy's, no one's paying attention to him anymore. So eventually he'll just run out of gas. I'm like, all right, man, if you think that's... And then I hear, there you are, motherfucker!
And I'm just like, whoa. Dime, click, dial tone. Oh my God. So now I'm fucking nervous. I'm actually fucking kind of nervous because I'm thinking Sebastian's been screaming this shit for hours about how nobody respects him and nobody cares. And now here he is finding Daryl, who would rather hide in the back of a closet than spend one more moment with him. So I'm thinking like, shit, man, this could get fucking dark. I've heard of weirder shit before. What if it gets physical somehow? Or, Sebastian goes, who the fuck knows? I don't know what could possibly happen. I'm actually seriously, at this point now, I'm kind of nervous for my friend in Texas. So I'm like, fuck this shit. I don't care what he says. I'm going to send the cops over. I'm just going to act like I'm a neighbor and complain. So I dial 911. And I call up, and they're 911 emergency. May we help you? I'm like, yeah. The neighbors are making a bunch of noise. I need to send a cop car. What's the address? I give him Daryl's address in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm in New York City. Because it's 5:30 in the fucking morning, and I'm not thinking straight anymore. I say, excuse me, sir. What was the address? You just gave me a Texas address, sir. Are you okay? I'm like, yeah. She's like, sir, you need us to send a cop car to Texas? I'm like, I'm sorry, it was a mistake. And then I hang up the phone. And now I'm fucking flipping the fuck out because in New York City, if you make fake 911 calls, they send cops and they arrest you because that shit's traced immediately. As soon as you dial 911, they know where you are, and they will send a cop. And if it's a bullshit call, you're going to jail. So now I'm flipping the fuck out because... I call 911 in New York saying, I need to send a car to Texas. They're making way too much noise at Daryl's house. Like, holy fuck. Like, I'm like, oh my God. What? So I'm trying not to panic, and I'm thinking maybe I should just leave the house. I'll just go to a fucking diner down the street, and I'll wait a couple hours. I'll watch to see if cops show up. Like, what the fuck? I'm up all night. Now I'm getting pissed at Sebastian because now I'm fucking up all night. I'm worried I'm going to jail now for being an idiot. So I'm like, fuck this. I call 411, which is directory assistance. Information. They give me the number for Fort Worth police. I'm just about to fucking dial the cops in Fort Worth, and the phone rings. Hey, Baldini. Dime, what the fuck, dude? What happened? Holy shit, I was just about to call the cops. No. Don't call the cops, man. We're fucking good. We're all good. It's figured out. I still hear Sebastian yell in the background, but he goes, dude, just don't call the cops, man. I'm like, whoa, what happened? He goes, yeah, your boy found me in the closet. He was kind of pissed, but it's all right. It's okay. And so I'm like, God damn it, dude. Look, I got to go to bed. He goes, hold on a second. Your boy. I'm like, no. And he fucking puts Sebastian on the phone with me. And I get 20 fucking minutes. 20 minutes of the phone. It wasn't a cell phone. It was 1995, but... I get 20 minutes of Sebastian yelling down the phone line, same fucking bullshit that I've been hearing all night about no one respects me, nobody gives a fuck. This kind of music used to be the biggest shit in the world, and now nobody cares. That's my terrible Sebastian Bach impersonation. I can't get that high. And I'm like, dude, you just got to calm down, man. You just been up all night. I know you did a bunch of blow. It's all good. You're going to be fine, dude. It's fine. You're a fucking awesome singer. Like, you kick ass. The music business, it's cyclical. Don't worry. Shit's going to come back around for you. And he's like, yeah, easy for you to say people like your fucking band, And I'm like, oh, man, you can't fucking argue with someone when they're in this state. So it's like, oh, God damn it. What am I going to do here? Now I'm stuck. It's fucking 6 in the morning now. I got to go to bed. Like, I got shit to do tomorrow. And then Sebastian finally says, hold on, motherfucker, someone wants to talk to you. And the second he says someone wants to talk to you, instantly there's another voice on the phone. And it says, hey, Scott, how are you, man? It's Dave Williams from Drowning Pool. I was as confused as you are. And I knew Dave, you know. I'm like, hey, what's up, Dave? Did you just get there? Like, no, man, I've been here the whole time watching your fucking boy lose his mind. And I'm like, oh, that's odd, because, you know, Daryl said it was just him and Sebastian there this whole time. It seemed like he was having a bit of a hard time dealing with shit. And, oh, yeah, man, it's been fucking crazy, man. He's been fucking shit up here. Shit broken everywhere, talking about killing himself, man. It's a fucking bad scene. I'm like, all right, well, you know, it sounds like you got it under control. I'm just fucking confused. Like, I'm a little confused right now. So Dave says to me, hold on a second. Someone else wants to say hi. And as soon as he says someone else wants to say hi, instantly I hear, hey, motherfucker, it's Sebastian Bach from Skid Row. Sebastian, and then instantly, hey, motherfucker, it's Dave Williams from the band Drowning Pool. That's when I found out Dave Williams from the band Drowning Pool did the best Sebastian Bach impersonation in the world. I waited 15 minutes for Daryl to stop laughing. He gets back on the fucking phone. Baldini! We've been playing this shit since noon! Dave came over to the house. We fucking cracked a beer. And I said, let's have some fun. What do you want to do, Dime? Let's call Baldini in New York City at 3 in the morning. Let's wake his ass up. He'll be sleeping. Well, what are we going to say? I don't know. I'm going to fucking tell him Sebastian Bach is over my house and he wants to kill himself. They concocted this whole fucking scheme all afternoon. Spent all fucking day putting this together until 3 in the morning and called me, kept me up all fucking night with this bullshit, right? To the point where I was actually fucking scared for my friend. So I couldn't even be mad. It was so fucking genius. I couldn't even be mad. And I'm telling you, I know Sebastian. You know, I was friends with him. It was fucking Sebastian. Sebastian found out about this call not so long after this. He wasn't very thrilled about it because he's like, well, motherfuckers, well, why would you do that? I wouldn't say that kind of shit. You know, he kind of took it like you believed that I was going to be on coke and say that kind of shit. And I'm like, dude, it sounded just like you. You know, it wasn't you. Why are you mad? You can't be mad. It wasn't you. You know, I love Sebastian. So they're just fucking dying. I'm like, all right, look, I got to go to bed. You fucking got me. You got me. It's the fucking, you fucking got me. You fucking rule. I'll see you next month. Good night. So I am now going to show you a video that's going to set up my tale of revenge. If you would so kindly dim the lights a little bit.
Guitar right here is the Crown Royal dime bag. This chick made the strap, dude. I mean, if that ain't the right strap for the guitar, I don't know what is. And this whole thing's done up in Crown Royal purple with the gold outlines, of course.
That's sharp.
Does it come in a big bag?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Crown Royal guitar, or as Daryl said, Clown Royal guitar. This was a one-of-a-kind signature model Daryl fucking Washburn axe that they built for him years ago. Super, super handmade custom job. If you know anything about Crown Royal, it comes in like that little velvety bag. They made a giant velvet bag for the guitar, cut out of the hard foam in the guitar case. It was die cut like the shape of a Crown Royal bottle. So you could actually put a bottle of whiskey in there like as a fucking lifesaver, which it was on many nights on tour. Run out of fucking Crown on the bus. Daryl would be like, pull over, motherfucker. The driver would pull over. He'd whip that fucking guitar case out of the bay underneath and be a fucking fresh bottle of Crown sitting there. So this was some fucking special ass guitar for him. And the guy in the video with him was Don Bernstein, and his job as the curator of the Hard Rock, he's the guy that traveled around the world and would buy this cool fucking ass shit from people all over. He's the guy that bought shit from Jimmy Page and Eric Clapton and whoever. And so that's basically Daryl showing him a bunch of his collection because at some point Daryl ended up selling that guitar to the Hard Rock. So it's 3 years later. It's 1998. Anthrax is on tour. We're in Orlando, Florida, where the Hard Rock headquarters are. That's where their vault is, where they keep all the shit that's not on display at Hard Rocks all around the world. And a lot of the shit they'll never put on display because it's too valuable. So the vault had got broken into about 2 weeks before this, and a bunch of shit got stolen. I'm out to dinner with Don Bernstein. It's a night off, and I tell him the Daryl story, just like I told you guys. And the first thing he says to me is, "What'd you do to get him back? Did you get your revenge?" I'm like, "Fuck no, man. I don't know what to do. You know Daryl, man. He embraces that shit. Like, he's not just fucking. He doesn't just give, man. He takes it. He could take it better than he fucking gives it. It's like you're trying to fuck the unfuckable. You just can't do it." And he's like, I know, but I know how to get him back." I'm like, "You do?" He goes, "Trust me. You want to get him back? You want revenge?" I'm like, "Yeah, right now." I'm like, "Let's fucking do this." He goes, "Follow my lead." I'm like, "Fucking, let's do it." He calls Daryl's house, speakerphone. Daryl's wife, Rita, answers the phone. It's like, "Hey, Rita, it's Tom Bernstein. How are you?" I was like, "Oh, hey, Bernstein. Hey, did you hear about the vault getting broken into a couple of weeks ago?" She's like, yeah, we heard about that." And he goes, "Yeah, well, I was just calling to talk to Dime. Is he around?" Like, No, he's at rehearsal right now. But, can I take a message? He's like, "Yeah, I just want to let you know that we've been doing inventory, and the Crown Royal guitar is gone, so I just want to let Daryl know." And she's like, "Oh, that sucks. Well, all right, I'll get a hold of Daryl, and I'm sure he'll call you." So hang up. About 10 minutes later, his phone rings, speakerphone. "Bernstein, it's Dimebag." He's like, "Hey, man, so what's going on?" He's like, "Well, I'm sure Rita told you, but, the vault got broken into." Yeah, I heard about that. "So your Crown Royal guitar is one of the guitars that's missing. We just found out today, actually. We've been doing all this inventory, and your guitar is gone." "Oh, man, I'm fucking sorry to hear that, brother. I know you guys paid me a lot of money for that guitar, and fuck, man, hopefully insurance or something will cover that shit for you, right?" He's like, "Well, there's kind of a problem. That's why I'm trying to get a hold of you about this. Anthrax is in town. I got a call from Scotty Ian today. He was at a pawn shop in downtown Orlando, and he was calling me this afternoon to find out if there was any way that Daryl's Crown Royal guitar could be hanging on the wall of a pawn shop. And he bought that guitar for $150. Daryl's like, "Baldini has the Crown Royal guitar." "Uh-huh. He paid $150 for I don't understand." He's like, he bought it at the pawn shop. They obviously, whatever fucking crackhead had it and the idiot in the pawn shop, they just didn't know what they had, obviously. And I'm sure he probably talked them down somehow. But, yeah, he's got your guitar for $150. And Daryl's like, "Well, he can't do that. He can't. That's fucking stolen property. That's why. I don't understand why he would have bought it. Why didn't he just call you straight off and tell you to come over there, and you call the cops, you get that shit back, right?" And he's like, "Well, look, he bought the guitar. I don't know what his motives were, but he's got the guitar now, and this is the fucking problem we have, Daryl. We never officially own that guitar." He's like, "What are you talking about? You paid me?" He's like, "Yeah, you cashed that check, but how many times did I fax you those change of ownership papers 5 months ago, and you never signed off on those, Daryl?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, Bernstein, yeah, you're right. I remember that." He goes, "Well, the Hard Rock never officially owned that guitar. We have no legal right. We have no claim now to that guitar. So legally, it's Scott's guitar at this point." "Well, no, that's got to be bullshit, Bernstein. It just can't be. And if anything, why would Baldini do that? He knows better. Even if he paid $150 for it, he should just give you the guitar back. Fucking worst comes to worst, that cheap motherfucker, I'll give him $150 back." Don said, "Well, we already offered him $150 back for it, but he wants $10,000. Daryl's just silent for a minute, and he's like, "Baldini wants $10,000 for my fucking guitar." He's like, "Well, at least you got that right now because it is your guitar. It was never actually the Hard Rock's guitar. So there's a big issue here, and because of our insurance policy, we have to." Then he spewed some fucking bullshit about insurance and their inventory, and that guitar was in the inventory, but they didn't actually own it, and blah, 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 blah. And he tells Dime, basically, I have to cut him this check because if I don't, I'm going to lose my job. I have to get this guitar back in our inventory or the Hard Rock's going to lose their insurance on their whole collection, right? It's like, you're going to get fired? He goes, I'm going to get fired unless I write him a check. He wants 10 grand today. Anthrax is in town. He wants the money today. Dom's like, I can't believe this motherfucker. This is fucked up, Bernstein. That's some fucked up shit. I mean, it's one thing to fucking, have an opportunity, but to fuck your friends over like that, fuck that. I'm calling Baldini right now. Bye. And he hangs up. My phone instantly starts ringing. Of course I don't answer it. Ringing nonstop for 10 minutes. He's just leaving voicemail after voicemail. Baldini, call me. You got to call me about this Bernstein thing. Call me about the Crown Royal guitar. Baldini, call me back, motherfucker. Just over and over and over again, leaving me messages. We're just order another round of drinks. So after about 15 minutes, he stops calling my phone, and Don calls him back. Dime, it's Bernstein. Did you get a hold of Scott? No, man. I can't get a fucking hold of him. He just keeps going to voicemail. You were probably calling him when he called me. He actually called me, and I talked to him. And I'm like, yeah? What's going on? Well, here's the thing. Somehow, he goes, he goes, like, is there any way that, you may have told Scott or in your voicemail or anything like that, you say anything about what we paid you for the guitar? I was like, no, man, I didn't say shit. He goes, well, Don says, somehow Scott found out that we paid you 15 grand for that guitar, and now Scott's pissed that he thinks we're fucking being cheap with him, and he wants $20,000 now. What? You tell that Jew Baldini motherfucker. When you talk to him, you fucking tell him to call me. This is fucking bullshit, Bernstein, and you fucking know it. Dime, calm down. I know it's fucking bullshit, but look, my fucking job is on the line here. I already got permission from my superiors. They said, just write him the fucking check. It doesn't matter. We can't fuck with our insurance. I got the fucking check all written. He's on his way here right now. He's coming to pick up the check. Holy shit, Bernstein, fuck this shit. I'm calling my lawyer. He hangs up, right? Once again, order another round of drinks. And Daryl calls back 10, 15 minutes later. I just spoke to Pantera's lawyer, and he says, you could call the cops. The cops could come seize that fucking guitar as evidence, and, he's got some whole fucking spiel that his lawyer told him, and Don just shuts him down again. He goes, no, Dime. No cops. I told you. This has got to stay under the radar. That's why we're just paying him off. Scott found an opportunity, and he's taking advantage of it. He's fucking taking advantage. Motherfucker, he's supposed to be my friend and your friend, and this is what he does. You don't fucking do this. You don't fucking do shit like this. Like, what the fuck? And then he just says to Bernstein, he goes, that's it. I'm fucking done. I'm done with you. I don't want to fucking talk about this anymore. And when I see fucking Baldini, I'll fucking deal with him. And he just hangs up the phone. We just fucking slow motion high five. Just, yes. I look at Don Bernstein like, you fucking genius. I said, you think we could string him along for a year? And then Don says to me, he laughs, he's like, that would be pretty fucking vicious, but just think about this for 1 second. He said, when they got you and they did that call to you, it was kind of all in fun. Were you ever actually really angry at him? And I was like, no, I wasn't angry. I was annoyed a little, but if anything, I was annoyed at fake Sebastian. I wasn't annoyed at Daryl. It was fucking hilarious. He goes, yeah, well, Dime's actually angry right now. And I thought about it, and I was like, I've known this guy for like 13 years, and I've never once heard him angry, ever. I've never actually heard him pissed off. And so I'm like, yeah, you're right. I don't want him to think about me like this. That would be fucked up. I know I'm going to see this guy next month, and he's fucking pissed. And then even if I tell him next month we were just kidding, it's just going to be fucking weird. So, yeah, no, you're right. Let's just give it let's have one more drink, and then we'll and then we'll break the news. I'm like, how do we end this? What do we do? He's like, I got it. I got it right here. Just follow me. I'm like, all right, you're the fucking master. So we wait another 15 minutes, and then Don calls Daryl back and says, hey, Dime, I fucking told you, Bernstein, I'm fucking done with this. Don't fucking call me again about this. No, hold on. Listen to me. I'm sitting here in the office with somebody who's got some shit figured out. We think we have a plan. It's all figured out. We'll be able to get the guitar back and settle this. Oh, yeah? Yeah, really? Who the fuck is it? He goes, hold on a second. And Bernstein hands me the phone. and I just say, Sebastian Bach, motherfucker. Oh, Baldini! Oh my God, you fucking got me. You knew what would get under my skin, trying to make a dime off a fucking dime. Holy shit. And I'm like, dude, it wasn't me. It was this fucking wizard sitting next to me, Don Bernstein. He fucking came up with the fucking plan. He's like, yeah, but still, it doesn't fucking matter. You fucking got me, motherfucker. And you waited 3 fucking years. I was like, that's because I was biding my time. So, yes, I got him back, and he fucking loved it. He fucking embraced that shit. We talked on the phone for 20 minutes after that, and just, it was just a fucking great moment. And from that point in 98 till he was killed and taken from us in 2004, he never fucked with me ever again. Because he must have seen me as some kind of a peer after that, and he knew that fucking Baldini's going to get me if I fuck with him, so fuck that shit. I'll just keep him on my team from now on. So I hope this gives you some kind of an idea, like, just into this man's soul, into the fucking beautiful, the beautiful fucking heart of this man that I was lucky enough to know, and at least you get to experience him through his music and the legacy that he's left us. And the last thing I have to say about it is I just want to raise a drink to the pink beard in the sky. Here's to Daryl. So now we're gonna go. This is when you take over the show. I know if you've heard about this, maybe the one thing you were getting yourself into maybe was that there was going to be a Q&A, and that now it's your turn. You could ask me anything. I think you see, I'm not really afraid about much. I don't give a fuck. I have no shame. So please, if there's any burning question you've been fucking thinking of for the past 32 years. Or since you were sitting here tonight, go ahead, fucking feel free. This is Glasgow. I know you're not shy. You can't fucking hide from me. So we're going to start right here. That's not a question. He said, next Judge Dredd movie, Anthrax should do the soundtrack for it. I agree. I will agree with you. I can only hope they make the movie. I don't know if it made enough to warrant a sequel. Of course, that's how these things work. It's not based on creativity, it's based on box office. So, but yes, we would love to make music for a Dredd movie if there ever is another one. Thank you. Do you have a question? What was it like being on the set of Married with Children? That is a good question. Most people ask us if any of us fucked Kelly Bundy. That's what you were really asking. No, none of us fucked Kelly Bundy, sadly. Not for fucking lack of trying. I fucking took Christina Applegate to a Metallica show. I was all figuring like, oh, I'll ask her out. Not really. It was kind of like, hey, do you want to go see Metallica? I could totally get backstage passes and everything. Totally hook it up. And then she brings fucking Bud Bundy, David Faustino along. And the whole thing was ruined. I never really had not even one fucking expectation of anything happening. But there was a part of the script. You get there on a Monday to shoot a TV show, and you do a read-through, and you're there every day of the week till Friday, running through that script and dress rehearsals till you shoot on Friday. And Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, there was a scene in the script where Kelly Bundy actually takes me. I was the lucky one for some reason. She grabs me by the hand, and we go upstairs to the fake bedroom, and we're supposedly having sex upstairs. And I was so fucking excited that I was the one, because all my friends back home, when they see this, they're going to be like, you fucked Kelly Bundy in fake TV land. Like in some fucking weird universe that actually happened that doesn't exist. But I'd be able to brag that, yeah, I fucking had sex with Kelly Bundy. We get to the fucking script reading on Thursday, and that scene is missing. So I say to the director after, I said, hey, what happened to the scene where Christina takes me upstairs? He said, yeah, she came in this morning, and she said, I know my character's a slut, but she's not that much of a slut. Damn it! And Ed O'Neill, everyone was super cool to us. It was one of the best weeks that we ever had. And Ed O'Neill was just mind-blowingly cool. Nothing like Al. Just the coolest fucking dude. He would help us out because you don't realize that they tell you, well, you're going to play yourselves, and you think that's easy. But then when you're looking at a written word on a page that isn't your fucking words, instantly it comes out awkward as you start to say that. And that's the first time I ever realized that, well, actors actually do something. And then he would tell us how to say our lines. He would say, no, try it like this, and we would do it. And I would say, like, it's just amazing because you're so not like the dude you play on TV, yet you fucking walk on the set, and it's fucking like, oh, my God, you completely transform into this other dude. I totally believe you. And I'm right in front of the guy. Like, and he goes, let me let you in on a little secret. He goes, you know how actors say in interviews that they look for motivation and who the character is, and they want to get inside the head of the character? He goes, you know, that sometimes works. He goes, for me with Al Bundy, he goes, I just got to put on this dirty fucking T-shirt, and I turn into Al Bundy. It was that simple. And so, yeah, it was fucking awesome. Was Kiss a big influence on our music? I don't know so much if I could say it was an influence on the music because obviously we don't sound anything like Kiss. But yeah, as a kid, seeing Kiss as a kid, because for me, as like an 11-year-old who fucking loved comics and loved horror and was just kind of getting into my own music, Kiss was like all of that wrapped up in a fucking fiery, bloody package. So they were kind of the perfect thing for most people on this planet from 75 to 78. And so, yeah, they had a huge influence on me as far as me getting on a path that I never strayed from, actually. After seeing them live in 77, I walked out of that show and I said, I'm going to be in a band. Probably more like the Ramones than Kiss because they wear Levi's and leather jackets. But this is what I'm going to do. Like, I'm going to do this. And I never strayed from that path. So, yeah, I could definitely say it was a huge influence in that way. And then years later, you know, I got to become friends with Gene Simmons. And a couple of years ago, I got to do this thing with him. I got to go to his house for Revolver magazine in the States, and we did this face-to-face interview thing where they take people who are fans of other people, and you just basically hang out and have a conversation. And that's what it was. We just talked for 3 hours, and they film it, and then they take all the best bits, and they basically put it in the magazine. And at one point during us hanging out talking, and I'd known him for years at this point, but we kind of never really had any kind of heavy conversation. And suddenly the conversation like takes this turn because I asked him, I said, why did you cover When You Wish Upon a Star on your solo album way back when? And he said, well, because when I was a kid, I came to America from Israel, and I didn't even speak English. He goes, so I just immersed myself. My whole life was comics and movies and cartoons. And he goes, because I just got picked on and bullied all the time because I didn't speak English. He said, so I learned how to speak English from comics and movies and cartoons. And but even when I spoke English, I had a really heavy accent, so kids still picked on me. So I just kind of put myself in this bubble of this world that I loved. And his favorite thing when he was a little kid, like 6, 7 years old, was Walt Disney. He loved watching the Disney movies on Sunday nights on TV. And if you remember Jiminy Cricket, the little fucking cricket who sings When You Wish Upon a Star, well, Gene couldn't even say Jiminy Cricket because of his accent. He called him Jimmy Cricket. So he's like, the first time I ever heard Jimmy Cricket sing When You Wish Upon a Star, it just struck a chord because then it made me think I can do anything I want to do, even though like everyone picks on me and I can't speak well and you know people are bummed out on me. But you know what? Fuck that shit. Jimmy Cricket says I can do it and I'm going to. This is a fucking 7-year-old, right? And he's telling me this and he's tearing up. His tears coming down his face, like. And now I'm getting emotional because like my fucking hero's sitting across from me and he's like starting to cry and I can tell what this means to him. And so it's making me emotional. And he's telling me this fucking wonderful, beautiful story. So that's why he sang that song on his record because he had made it. He had made millions of dollars at that point in 1978. And that's why he felt he owed it all to Jimmy Cricket singing When You Wish Upon a Star. And I just sat there and I listened to the story and I look at Gene and I go, Gene, you're my Jimmy Cricket. And I got tears coming down my face. It's like right out of a movie. It's straight up like, I love you, man. Oh, I love you too. So yeah, it was this fucking awesome moment that, I know they say don't meet your heroes, but fucking hell, man, I've had a pretty good run, of people that I've idolized through my life and have just been unbelievably cool to me. So yeah, Kiss, I've got the motherfucker tattooed on half my leg. So yes, it's a huge influence on me. Here. Have I ever been tempted to hide Rob Caggiano's beanie? It's happened. It has happened a few times, kind of before it became glued to his head. Yeah, but we all learned to respect the hat. I guess that would be for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, our lead guitar player for years, Rob, started wearing a hat much like the Edge, and the hat never came off. And now he's in Volbeat. So just look at any pictures of Volbeat and videos, and you'll see what we're talking about. Next. Way back. Yeah, you with your hand up back there. You got to shout. That's easy. Take a shower. Or walk around with a pants full of poo like me. There you go. It's a fucking easy one right here. The biggest assholes we've toured with. Oh, everyone wants the dirt. All those other bands on the Big Four. Fuck those fucking ass. No, I'm just kidding. No, those are our friends. Who's the biggest? I can straight up say, once again, we've been pretty lucky over the years, but I'm not going to pussy out. I'm going to fucking name names. I'm going to fucking name a name, Glasgow, because I'm like you. I'm filled with fucking scorn and hate. I understand the Glaswegian mentality. I have many friends from this fine city. I've spent many years. I've had one of you live with me for years in California. I understand the mentality of a man who, on my bachelor party, way back when in like 1994, Gene Simmons was actually at that, and we're fucking shit-faced drunk on PCH, which is right by the beach in Huntington Beach, California, and me and my Glaswegian friend, Andrew Buchanan, fucking go to this convenience store with another friend of ours, and it's fucking late at night, and my friend was Israeli who was with us, and the fucking guy behind the counter looks at my Israeli friend and says, "You're wearing a Star of David. That's like a fucking swastika to me." And my Israeli friend was a very serious Jew, unlike me. I don't care. Like, it didn't offend. I was like, whatever. But then my friend got pissed, and they start yelling at each other. One thing leads to another. This punk 16-year-old of some type of, I don't know what descent, but he hated Jews, pulls a fucking gun out from behind the register. And my Glaswegian friend Andy tries to fight him. So, instead of doing what everyone else in the store did and ran, Andy tried to fight him. And I think even knocked out his father, if I'm not mistaken. So I understand the mentality. Even coming here today, I said, they need to fucking rename the River Clyde to the River Scorn. And I fucking love it. I love you people. You know how much Anthrax loves this city. But I'm still avoiding your question. I will tell you, the only, there's fucking one dude, and it's kind of an easy target, and it's way back in 1986. But Blackie Lawless was a fucking asshole. He was a fucking asshole, straight up. I know that doesn't even mean anything now in the context of 2013, and why should I even be bitter about it now? I fucking hold on to that shit. That fucking big douche didn't even fucking play on stage. Anyway, yeah, he was a dick to us when we were nobody. And then we got to play Donington in 87, and they went on before us. So fuck you. Let me just say the rest of his band. You notice I didn't say Wasp. I just said Blackie because Chris Holmes and the other dudes were fucking awesome. It was just that cunt. Next. Back there. How much fun was Supergroup to do? That's the first time I ever lived like a rock star. we were in Vegas for 2 weeks on VH1's dime. They fucking paid for everything. We had limousines on call 24 hours a day, anything we wanted to do, and I was in a house with Ted fucking Nugent. So, who I disagree with on most everything, if you know anything about Ted's politics. But it was fun being in a house with him because he's obviously quite an alpha male. As a kid, I still am a fan of his music. I fucking love him. But, you know, if you watch that show, there was a lot of fucking bullshit they would try and get us to do. And all we wanted to do was hang out in the fucking studio they built for us and fucking jam all day long. But they're like, that's not a TV show. Nobody wants to see 5 dudes jam for 7 hours. But that's all we wanted to do. So every morning you'd have to sit down and have a fucking meeting with these producers around a table. And they say, well, today we're going to jump out of a plane. And then we're going to take you to this thing. And you're going to try and, like, cook hamburgers at this restaurant and keep up with the orders. And we would all just kind of look at each other like, oh, God, you know, fucking hell. And Ted would kind of look around, take the temperature of the room, look at us, and he'd go, nope, we're not doing that. But, yeah, we have got all this. No. It's not what we're doing. We're not doing that. And they wouldn't argue with Ted because Ted had 73 guns in titanium suitcases in his bedroom. I'm not fucking kidding you. So nobody fucking said shit to Ted, which was awesome. So we kind of had this dude who basically all you had to do was just go, Ted, tell him this. And fucking Ted would say something, and then we'd get to do whatever the fuck we would want. So it was pretty fucking awesome. I did actually have a really good time. All my friends came out. You didn't see it on the show, but I had so many friends out there hanging out at the house and just raging the whole time. And it was a really good time. I did tell VH1, though, one more little thing. We didn't know who was going to be in that house going into it. And I told the producer that, like, got me hooked up with this whole thing. I said, look, if this is like, look, if you can't tell me, fine. But I'm just telling you now, like, if I fucking walk in that house and it's like there's some bunch of dudes that I just would not want to be hanging out with or be in a band with or make music with, I'm not going to give you some big fucking reality TV moment, you know, like a big fucking blow up. That's not going to happen because I know that's what you want. Just in the middle of the night, I'm going to quietly leave. I'm just going to take my bag. I'm going to go to the airport. I'm going to fly home. You could have your money back. I don't give a fuck. It's just I spent too many years building up a reputation, and I was pretty specific. And it's nothing against this person I'm going to name personally because he's actually a really nice guy. But I just actually said, look, I don't want to be in a band with CeCe DeVille from Poison. I was pretty straight up about it. I said, I would never make music with that cat. It's just not something I need to do in my life. He's a fucking nice dude. I've met him a bunch of times, but it's just not my scene. And they were kind of like, we promise you, you're going to like it. You'll like who's there. So, you know, at the end of the day, it turned out good. September 11th? The terror attacks. How did it affect Anthrax? Well, we had a bunch of fucking jackasses trying to somehow fill space on 24-hour news channels by, you know, saying, will Anthrax, the heavy metal band, change their name? As if this was fucking important. The fucking towers got blown up, and people were throwing Anthrax at each other, and the fucking world became a really, 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 really fucking scary place at that moment in time. And people want to talk to us. The fucking New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, every fucking major news outlet in the world was trying to get an interview with us, whether or not we were going to change our name. And we're like, are you fucking kidding? Like, really? This is how fucking sad it is, to the point CNN on their ticker back then, on the bottom, the fucking news ticker, reported as fact on the fucking ticker. I'm sitting at home watching it and went across and said, heavy metal band Anthrax changes name to Basket Full of Puppies. And they fucking got that from a fucking blog that I wrote and we put on our website at the time, where I wrote saying it's fucking sad, basically, that these media outlets don't have really something better to write about than worrying whether or not what we're fucking doing. Who gives a fuck about, you know, what we're doing? It's the tiniest fucking little speck of dirt compared to what's going on the planet. And I said, you know, it's sad that I'm even making a joke about this. And I made a joke. It specifically said, I'm making a joke about this. And then I said, we're changing our name to Basket Full of Puppies. Well, some fucking jackass at CNN obviously doesn't read anything about a joke, just sees we're changing our name, and it was reported as fact on CNN. So we made shirts. Do I have any Jeff Hanneman stories? Yes. Much like Daryl, a hard guy to fucking boil a life down to a story. But yes, I knew Jeff since 1985, and he was a funny motherfucker. He had one of the best laughs you would ever hear. And obviously, if you didn't know Jeff or any of the guys in Slayer, maybe you don't know that because, Slayer is Slayer. You don't fucking smile on stage in Slayer. There's no smiling in Slayer. Well, maybe the last few years, Tom smiles on. Tom's kind of turned into this dude on stage. Playing his bass. He looks with his big old gray beard, just all, what's up? Yeah, Tom smiles now, but for many, many, many years, Slayer never smiled. So you wouldn't know that Jeff was a goofy motherfucker. There's no way you would know that he would sit in a room for 5 hours in 1991 on the Clash of the Titans tour and watch Simpsons on VHS and then get on stage and play fucking Haunting the Chapel. Like, you don't know that unless you know the dude. And that's the dichotomy of Jeff is what's amazing because he was such a funny fucking dude, yet arguably wrote the most evil fucking heavy metal songs of all time. So, yes, I agree. So, Jeff was a wonderful motherfucker, and I'm going to give you a quick tale about the smiling thing. In 1991, on that Clash of the Titans tour, it was the last show of the tour in Miami, and end-of-show pranks are kind of a tradition on tours with other bands. So Slayer got us. We were on, and all the Slayer dudes were kind of hanging out in the wings, shooting us with fucking paintball guns. And if you fucking ever had gotten hit by one of those, they fucking hurt. And they leave a fucking welt. But you figure, it's fucking Slayer. They're not just going to fucking come out with water and feathers and shit. It's fucking paintball guns that we're going to hurt you, right? So our prank on Slayer, because, you got to think about it. Like, well, how the fuck are we going to do to Slayer? They've got such a hard-ass fucking image on stage. Fucking Slayer. Just like, what are we going to do? We decided we're going to fucking make these motherfuckers laugh. We're gonna crack the facade. And, we're in Miami. We sent one of our crew guys to a fish market to find the biggest fucking fish he could find. And he comes back with this 400-pound monstrosity. This fucking big, this fucking giant fucking fish, right? And we tell the riggers, we want you to put a hook in this fucking thing, pull it up in the fucking lighting rig, and hide it up there until Slayer comes on. And when Slayer does Angel of Death, which was, if I remember correctly, the last song of the set, when Slayer gets to Angel of Death, right when Tom starts to fucking scream, you fucking drop that fish down right in front of his mic line. And we're going to see what fucking happens. Let's see them fucking not break character. And that's what happens. They're up there doing their show. We're all hanging out, and that's not giving anything away because we would hang out and watch Slayer. And gets to Angel of Death, all and it gets to the I can't do it. And fucking fish right there. Tom in mid-scream, fucking loses it, just starts cracking up, which of course alerts Carrie on stage left and Jeff on stage right because Tom stopped screaming for something. So they kind of get interrupted because they're just all, they're just headbanging away, and then they fucking look over and they fucking both break totally because there's a giant fish hanging on Slayer stage. And those guys, unless you really know somebody, you would never know that. So also, Jeff was just he was an awesome dude, man. Last time I saw him was 2 years ago when we did the Big Four outside of L.A., and he came to that show. I hadn't seen him in a long time, certainly since he had gotten sick, since the fucking spider bit him. And he showed up at that show at Coachella, and he was like a little kid. He came running up to me. He's like, dude, you got to check out my scar. And he was like a little kid showing off, and he pulls his sleeve up. He's got this giant, gnarly fucking scar all the way down his arm. Like crazy, just crazy fucking scar. And, because the fucking venom from the spider it was flesh-eating shit. It fucking tore his arm apart. And he was in great spirits that night. We were just hanging out, having fun. He got up on stage and played 2 songs with Slayer that night. And I left that show thinking he was on the fast track, to be back in the band. So I had no idea a couple of weeks ago when I heard the news that morning. I didn't know. I had fucking no clue where he was at health-wise. So it was I got to say, it was a fucking shock to me. And it's still kind of raw because it hasn't been very long. So it's just fucking sad. It's really sad. And I don't want to end this on that, so let's get one more. Although Jeff was a fucking wonderful dude, so there's nothing sad about it. Way back. Get your information right. It was Yankee Stadium. I would never come to Glasgow and accuse someone of breaking into where the Rangers play if they had broken into where a Celtic plays. I would never do that. I'm just fucking with you. How do I got to keep this one short. Yeah, I got really drunk with Zach Wilde one time in Florida, specifically 1997, and ended up at 3 o'clock in the morning breaking into where the Yankees have their spring training stadium in Florida, and I ran around the bases like an asshole, and I got arrested, and I got sent to jail, and long story short, there's a radio DJ in New York City called Howard Stern, who you may have heard of, and he's the biggest thing in the world, or at least in America. I don't have that American worldview like most Americans. I apologize for that. He's the biggest thing in America, and he had me and the owner of the New York Yankees on, George Steinbrenner, and I got to personally apologize to George Steinbrenner because this was some serious shit. They had 2 felony charges against me. It was costing me an insane amount of money for a lawyer to defend myself. And I wasn't going to go to jail, but with these felony charges, it was going to make it so I wouldn't be able to get visas to travel outside the United States. Of course, being in a band, that makes my life difficult. So, I got to personally apologize to the owner of the New York Yankees, and they ended up dropping all the charges against me. So it ended up having a happy ending, although it was the fucking most expensive fucking prank I've ever been a part of. Let's get one more question, and then I got something else for you guys. His question was, what was it like being in the movie Calendar Girls? I learned from the best American politicians. Avoid, avoid, avoid. Who do I choose, Nico or Lars? That's an interesting question, and I mean, it's kind of an easy answer. It would be Lars because Nico just wouldn't be able to play at that speed. It's just not his style at all. Nico's a great drummer, but not in the style of music we play. Whereas Lars would probably be able to pull it off. I don't think he knows of any of our songs, but if we actually could rehearse with him, it would actually come together. So I could actually answer that one. Don't give me this. Someone's probably, I can't believe no one's giving me the Judas Priest or Iron Maiden. And I'll say, like, why can't I just listen to both? Well, what if you had a gun to your head? And I fucking call bullshit on that because you're never going to have a gun to your head to have to answer the question of which band you like better. Never, ever, ever in history has someone been walking down a fucking street and all of a sudden, oh shit. Okay, just take my wallet and take my watch. No. I want to know which is your favorite Black Sabbath record. Right now you've got a gun to your head. It's never fucking gonna happen. So I refuse to be a part of that bullshit. Next. Well, there's no gun to my head. So my answer to that question is the first 5. Which riff do I wish I'd written that other bands had written? AC/DC's catalog. That's it. There's a lady here. We have one lady. A lady with an anthrax tattoo. You're no lady. Do I want to find out? Fuck, we really are beyond the wall, Game of Thrones reference. Oh, Dame Helen Mirren. She said, if I didn't get lucky on Married with Children, what about Calendar Girls? Well, we got that. I'm not supposed to talk about this shit. I was dating Helen for a long time. I was fucking her, okay? I wasn't that emotionally involved. I was like, bitch, put me in your movie. No. That's like, I'm going to get arrested for saying that. Isn't she like royalty now or something? No, that was so fucking out of the blue. And no, I didn't get lucky. None of us did. But we got this random call years ago. Do you want to be in a movie called Calendar Girls? Well, what's that? Naked chicks? Kind of. Because we didn't know that story back home. And so when we found out what it was, as soon as I found out Helen Mirren was in it, I was in. So me and John and Frankie did that movie because the director, he wanted a scene where basically, what's the polar opposite of these three middle-aged ladies who are in Los Angeles to be on the Jay Leno show? They're going to be at their hotel. What would be just the weirdest fucking thing to be involved in? And one of the people that worked for him said, I know the guy that manages Anthrax. And he goes, that's fucking brilliant. What's more opposite than these three ladies than a band called Anthrax? So he just figured they would get a couple of jokes out of it. And that's how the whole thing happened. So we get to fucking spend a day on the set with these three lovely women. It was Helen Mirren. It was Ron Weasley's mom from Harry Potter. And the other lady is Simon Pegg's mom from Shaun of the Dead. I don't know their names. I just know who they are. Thank you, Mark. All right, so hopefully all of you got a raffle ticket thing when you came in, and I'll explain quickly if they didn't explain to you. The fine people of Jackson Guitars gave me 5 guitars to give out on this tour, and I said, well, that's very nice of you, but I need 15 guitars because there's 15 shows, so I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. Is the guy from Glasgow supposed to split and share the guitar with the dude from Gloucester? Like, you're going to go, you'll be like, the guy from Gloucester comes over your house, and whoever writes the better riff gets the guitar for the rest of the week. And they're like, you're an idiot. You're getting 5 guitars. Shut up. So basically how it works is whoever number I pick tonight, you'll see Mark over here by the merch after the show, and he's going to sort you out with some merch, and then your name will go into a drawing that I'm going to do in London on the last show. So you actually have not even there's 5 guitars, 15 shows, but Bournemouth's off, so it's actually 5 guitars, 14 names. So your odds just got better. Good luck, my friends. 713. Wow, first row, look at that. Right here with the hat. Congratulations. You better duck out of here. The rest of this crowd hates you. So I've got one last thing for you guys before I go. The impetus, I know a lot of you had all of you here tonight had no fucking idea what you were getting yourselves into. You see a thing called Scott Ian Speaking Words, and you have no fucking clue. What the fuck does that even mean? But you were all fucking brave enough to take a risk on something that you had no idea what you were getting into. And that's why this next thing I'm going to talk to you about, I know none of you would ever do any of these things because the fact that you took a risk to come here tonight makes me realize how fucking cool you are. So thank you. No, you rule. Thank you. So the impetus for this whole talking thing, when my son turned about 6 months old, I started to realize I was forgetting shit. I mean, anyone who has children knows how fucking hard those first few months are. That on top of my age, combined the two, And I was starting to forget things, like literally, like, it's like, fuck, I fucking can't remember shit. So I started writing things down, specifically lots and lots of stories that I have from the fucking, especially the last 30-odd years of being in the band. And I started writing those stories down, just having such a great time writing them. And that turned into writing more shit outside of just stories from the band and just coming up with shit or ideas or whatever, but just a ton of fucking writing, which then turned into I'm going to do a book. And that all started to come together. And that's coming out next year, plug. So, and then this kind of fell into my lap. Last year, the band's agent said, look, I'm going to do this series of shows, basically like rock stars say the dumbest things. And I want you, I want Duff McKagan, I want Chris Jericho, because you're all coming over here to tour. So if you want to do it the night before the tour with Motorhead in London, I could sort that out. We'll get a venue and just get up and do whatever. And I just said yes without even thinking about it, because it's something I was always curious about. And I had been writing all this shit down for months and months. So I had all this shit in my brain. So I said, fuck it, yeah, I got like 4 months to prepare. So I did nothing for 4 months. I thought I had all these plans of inviting, I got lots of stand-up comedian friends and writer friends in L.A., and I was like, I'm going to invite them all over my house once a week, and I'm going to workshop this shit, and I'm going to fucking stand in front of them and we'll fucking have drinks, and I'm going to do my show, and I'm going to take notes and listen to what they have to say, and I'm going to put together a show. And I did nothing for 4 months. And I'm in my hotel room the night before the show on November 4th in London, sweating, and I'm about to call my agent to tell him I've got the flu, and I'm not fucking doing it because I don't know what I'm doing. And my wife says, just fucking calm down, man. You could sit in the bar with your friends all night and tell stories, and it's fucking fine, and that's all you're going to be doing. You're going to sit in a fucking bar and tell stories. You'll be fine. Just be yourself and go do it. So I did it, and it went so well. I came off stage with the goofiest fucking smile on my face, like I hadn't felt in years and years and years, and I said immediately to my agent, I got to do more. This was amazing. I just had such a good time. It was so much fun doing it. And that's how this tour came about. So, and like I said, you motherfuckers, not knowing any of this backstory at that point in time, threw down your hard-earned cash. You know, I know people are going to Download. People are going to fucking Bloodstock. It's festival season. What the fuck has Scott got to say that's worth my money? But you came. So, once again, I thank you. And now I'm going to give you what I like to call my top 10 conversation starters, or basically things that you should tell your friends to never do. And this is shit that pretty much happens to me on a daily basis. And I'm going to start it with, it's post-show. We've just played with Motorhead in Glasgow. I'm all fucking showered. It's like an hour after the show. I just want to get on the bus, have a fucking beer or two, and fucking pass out and go to the next city. And there'll always be some faithful hanging outside by the bus to take pictures or sign some shit. And that's fucking awesome. And then there's always the one dude. There's the guy. He's fucking, whether it's fucking freezing in January or a dead of summer, there's the fucking giant shirtless dude. And he's fucking disgusting. He's just filthy and drunk and sweating. And he's been in a pit in his fucking house listening to Rain and Blood before he even came to your show. And he's gross. And I swear to God, this dude must follow me from gig to gig because he's everywhere. And he comes up to me, and he's straight up just that dude, let me touch your beard. I'm like, oh, please, God damn it. There's no fucking way your filthy fucking sausage fingers are getting near my face. But I smile, and I say, I don't think you really need to touch my beard. It's cool, man. Why don't we just take a picture? And they're usually so drunk, it's like you're fucking jangling a shiny thing. You just distract them. Take a picture. Oh, yeah, let's take a picture. Okay. And then you take a picture with giant fucking gross man. I'm a fucking dwarf. So most people, when I take pictures with them, they put their arm around me, and I get this. I get pit shoulder. How many jackets can one man take on tour? You get pit shoulder. Literally, the fucking armpit vapor locks to your shoulder. And you take the picture, and it's just like, oh, God, it just fucking stinks. Right? And then fucking the armpit releases from my shoulder. And then literally, I've had jackets that I've washed, and the fucking stench is the fucking satanic stench that is transferred from that vile armpit is still in my jacket. So you fucking burn the jacket and you move on. I'm going to meet a bunch of you after this show tonight. I am that dude right now. I promise you, this is not going to touch you. I'm very conscious of this shit. And back to the beard thing for one more second. Because even hot ladies, I don't want I just don't understand the need. I hang around with a lot of beardy dudes. Kerry King, never once have I looked at Kerry and gone, dude, I totally want to run my fingers through your beard. Never once thought that. That's fucking gross. This next fucking group of things, I call them mistaken identity. If you're going to go up to somebody, you should kind of know who the fuck you're talking to, okay? So this is a fucking daily occurrence. We're going to fucking run through these. Aren't you the singer of Anthrax? Nope. Another dude. Aren't you the bass player of Anthrax? Nope. And I don't feel it's my responsibility to fix that. I don't think, how does it become then my responsibility to engage that and correct them and explain to them, well, you're close, I'm the guitar player, blah, 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 blah. It's like, nope, you messed up, it's your fault. And then, of course, those people are going to go look at a record, see, and they go, what a fucking dick. He could have fucking told me. Nope, it's not my responsibility. Get it right. Then, of course, this actual one, many times, I totally recognize you. You're in a band, right? You're in a band. Uh-huh. What band are you in? Anthrax. No, that's not it. Not my responsibility. Once again, for many years I used to get, aren't you the guy from System of a Down? I get it. Shavo was bald, I'm bald. Shavo had a beard, I have a beard. I understand. I get it. That one, I would engage because I would say, why, yes, I am. And I would act like a fucking total cock. And Shavo takes the blame. I used to get Phil, too, from Pantera, and I never really understood that one because he's fucking 3 times my size. The one that makes me want to fucking hang myself is when someone comes up and says, oh, hey, man, I used to listen to you guys. Why would you say that? Why? You see someone that you obviously at one point in your life had some type of admiration, respect. You enjoyed what they gave to you. And this is what you fucking come up with to say, I fucking used to listen to you guys. How's that? Makes you feel good, huh? So that one I engage because I'm like, what do you mean used to listen? What do you mean? Well, you know, I got a job after school and got married, have kids, just all the responsibility. And I'm like, wait, so you just specifically stopped listening to Anthrax or all heavy metal or music or whatever? Yeah, pretty much all. I can't. And I'm like, you know what? You're a fucking lame piece of shit. Exactly. Of course I don't say that out loud because I'm not that much of a prick. But what I try and do is I try and help. That's why I'm here on this planet, is to help people, my fellow humanity, to fucking straighten shit out. So I tell them, I say, here's what you're going to do when we fucking leave this conversation. Any way you could buy music, go to the store, open your computer, go into iTunes, and I want you to go buy a record right now as soon as you leave me, a record that used to give you joy. It doesn't have to be an Anthrax record. Any record you ever listened to that you used to love, you go fucking buy that record, and tonight when your children are asleep, put your fucking headphones on and you listen to that, and it's going to fucking change your world, I promise you. Whether that's ever even happened one fucking time, I don't know, because it's not like I bump into people again and get a recap on their fucking life. But I try. I actually try when someone says that they don't listen to music anymore, because I think it's a fucking shame. This next one is one that I actually enjoy, and I'm not being sarcastic. The one I get all the time is when someone will run up to me and scream either my name or the name of the band in my face as loud as they can. And you're probably thinking, oh, here comes the fucking prick again. He's going to shit all over it. But no, I actually love this because I completely understand the emotion. I fucking get it. I get the fucking attitude and the emotion because let me tell you, the first time I was in a room with Tony Iommi, first time I ever met that dude, I saw him. I was in physical fucking distance of like that. I'm gonna talk to Tony Iommi. all I could fucking think of was, Tony Iommi! That's all I could think of. I was losing my fucking mind that I was standing in the same room as him. I wanted to grab him by his long leather fucking awesome coat and just be like, oh my God! I was fucking losing my mind. It was like my fucking brain was going to explode. Of course, it was all inside voice, because if I would have done any of that, his fucking security would have thrown me out of the building, and I never would have had a wonderful, polite conversation with one of my heroes. So that's why I'm saying I get it. And when someone comes up and does that to me, the fucking visceral, fucking intense, and they can't even hold it in. They can't use the fucking inside voice. It just comes out, Anthrax, whatever. I fucking understand. That doesn't mean at the fucking meet and greet you should yell at me, because it doesn't count now. It doesn't count. It has to just happen. Like if we bumped into each other today on fucking Sucky Hall Street, then you could fucking yell Anthrax, but not at the meet and greet. And finally, this last one. This was a one-time occasion. This was in 1991 in Huntington Beach, California, walking into a record store. I get out of my car. There's no one there. It's in the middle of the fucking day on a weekday. And I'm walking through the parking lot, and I see a guy get out of his car, and he sees me, and he's coming towards me, and I know he's going to engage me in some type of conversation. And the guy comes up to me and straight just kind of stops in front of me. No fucking way. I'm like, hey, what's up? And, oh my God, dude, no fucking way. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Dude, holy shit, I can't believe I'm meeting Anthony fucking Kiedis. So I actually turn around. What? Like, where? And it's 1991. Anthony Kiedis had hair down to his ass, and I was bald. So I was really fucking confused, which, made me think, I'm definitely engaging this motherfucker, because this is going to be awesome. And so I'm like, no, you definitely have me mistaken. I am definitely not Anthony Kiedis. And he looks at me and goes, dude, there's fucking nobody else here. You don't got to be a dick about it. Wow. Like, is this what Anthony has to deal with? Like, so I'm just straight up like, man, I swear to you, I'm not being a dick about this, dude. I'm going in the record store. Come with me into that record store. We're going to go to the Chili Peppers section. I fucking defy you to find a picture of me on a Chili Peppers record. It's just not going to happen. Once again, he fucking looks at me. He's like, come on, dude. Just fucking, can you sign my shit? I'm like, man, I'm not who you think I am. I swear to you, I'm not Anthony Kiedis. He's like, you're a fucking dick. Now I'm starting to get mad. Like, I'm going to punch this guy, and I'm not even Anthony Kiedis. I'm going to punch him for Anthony. And so I keep going. I'm like, hey, maybe you think I'm Flea. Because, Flea was fucking my size. He usually had a shaved head or fucking some kind of short-haired leopard spot thing or something going on. And so I can understand that confusion. So I say to him, do you think I'm Flea, the bass player? He's like, gets right up in my fucking face. I'm thinking, what the fuck, what is this guy gonna do? Gets right in my face. He goes, fuck you, Anthony, and he runs away. And that's all I've got for you tonight. Thank you so much, my friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me just say again. Okay, keep clapping, keep clapping. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For reals, it's so crazy for me because I've never done this shit before. Tonight's actually lucky 13 for me. It's the 13th show I've ever done talking at people. So, and I picked this show specifically. Well, I said, I got to document this shit. And I said, I'm fucking filming Glasgow because anyone knows anything about the history of Anthrax in this city, we've always had our best shows, not just fucking even in the UK, but in all of Europe, Glasgow is like the best audience we play to. So I was like, I am definitely shooting that show because they don't know what they're getting themselves into, but I know they're going to fucking get it. And that's all that fucking matters. So So until I see you next time, maybe I'll see you at Bloodstock in August. Anthrax is making a new record, which will be out next year. So the band, it's not like when I was in Plymouth and I do a show in Plymouth, and Anthrax has never played Plymouth. It was my first time there, and people are like, please come back with the band. Please bring the band down here. And I'm, what can I say? I don't know. It's not up to me, and I don't know how it works, what venues they have, and all that. And I say, I'll try. I'll put the word in. But I don't have to do that here because it's fucking Glasgow, and of course we're coming back. So, until next year, my friends. Once again, from the bottom of this fucking black heart of mine, seriously, this means the world to me that you were willing to do this, that you came out and you took a risk to come see something that you really had fucking no idea other than I was going to be in a room with you and maybe you would yell at me. So, and I'm glad you did yell at me. Once again, Glasgow, thank you. Cheers.